Leo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late August 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Leo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going. Gods and spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Leos here in late August? What energies, messages, insights? Your birthdays have just passed. Let's see what energies have for you. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Leo in late August as we move into the early parts of Virgo season. What is happening for my good friends? Please and thank you. Let's get this first card out nice and quick. There it is. Thank you. Ask and you shall receive. Okay, so this card to me could either be really, really nice, but it could also represent control. Like it could either be very lighthearted or it could be something you're going to have to watch out for a little bit. Okay, it all really depends on what you're going through with the puppets here, playing with the little puppets. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the August subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this card. So depicted on this beautiful card, we see this jester, and it's putting on a little puppet show. It's playing. So the more lighthearted aspect of this is having fun. So for some Leos out there, I mean, if things have been quite serious, if you've been doing a lot of work, or you've been focused on something quite a bit, maybe you need to cut loose, because this to me is like someone having a good time. They're putting on a performance, they're playing. So for a portion of you, that could be the simple optimistic message. Like you need to make some time for yourself or to have a good time. Very important. Now, work and relationships, that's always important as well, but you need to lighten the mood. Aside from that, though, when we get to the little warning side of this card, it could represent somebody pulling the strings or trying to control a situation. So if you're going through something a little dicey, there might be somebody trying to control things from behind the scenes. We're not fully going to walk down that road, but this card could literally represent a puppet master or putting on a performance, like I said. So we're going to see if those themes show up within the reading itself. So let's just put that puppeteer down. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say the first card over here, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the lovely Leos, please. Late August. What do we got for my good friends? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled They're Watching You. Now, I will say this, for a lot of people with strong Leo placements, whether you like it or not, you're attention getters, right? Like, for some reason, people's attention flocks to you. And that was shown up in a very big way last week. So whether it's like a specific individual, like keeping tabs and watching, for some of you, I even got like little gossipy type of energy as well. I mean, it all comes with the territory, right? When you're an individual that gets attention, like you're going to get a little bit of both. So let's see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone that you're linked to. Let's get it going. 3 cards for the lovely Leos. Please, what's happening in late August for my good friends? Thank you. Okay, moving forward, that's a big card of action. See, it's even jumping around when I'm trying to move the other card. I like the 6 of Swords. It's not stagnant, so this is good. It's a good way to start. It's like full steam ahead. Let's get a couple more out here, though. What do we got for Leo, late August? Oh, there we go. All right, so communication, talking, this could be coming back around, and I think that was a big focal point for you maybe like a month or maybe a couple months ago. Like you kept getting readings that were really surrounding communication. So with that page, I mean, that could be one coming in. Let's get another out. So what do we have for Leo, please? Quick. Chariot, even more action. So one thing I will say with all this energy so far, Leo, is like it's all on the move. It's all on the go. So this is going to be intriguing to decode like what direction all this energy is moving in, because it does feel like it's in flux a little bit. It's not like solidified. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. So at first look, first glance, we have a nice mixture of elements happening here. We have swords, which is air. We have pentacles, which is earth. We got the chariot, which is water element. So it's like we have a little bit of each. Now, this could be different situations. It could be all one thing. But again, the big theme I'm picking up, all of these cards are in action, different stages of action, though. Okay, so like something for you might be progressing a little slower, like slow and steady. Something might be going fast as a rocket. Something might be going just right. It's kind of like giving me that vibe where it's like, okay, that's too slow. That's too fast. That's just right. So we're going to have to really decode this one, Leo. So let's go through piece by piece and really start to build this out. Position number one, the Six of Swords, one of my more positive cards in the whole entire deck. Now, you see this individual kind of ferrying somebody in a boat, and I always say this is coming out of choppy waters into calm. So if you've been dealing with tough situations, if you've been having problems recently, this kind of represents things getting better, things improving. Having a light at the end of the tunnel or looking towards the horizon. Know that your current situation is not your final destination. This is a very hopeful type of energy. This card can also represent situations involving distance. It can represent trips and travel, all that good stuff. And I generally like this. Now, I always say all cards have positive and challenge. And although this is a card of action, it could also swing that other way. When we're talking about the Six of Swords, it could be somebody you're connected to where you feel like they're making the wrong moves. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Worst case scenario, this could be somebody giving up on something or abandoning it. So we're going to want to look into this further. And I always say I take the cards at optimistic value until the clarifiers tell me otherwise. Because I will say all the cards here on the top, they're positive in nature. They lean towards the optimistic. Now, moving to the center, we have our good pal here, the Page of Pentacles. And I always say with all pages, they represent students, they represent messengers. So whether you're learning new things, whether you're being a very studious individual yourself, whether it's actual schooling or whether it's learning new skills or whether it's diving down rabbit holes, this is a card of somebody like taking in lots and lots of information. For a portion of you, this could be an earth sign that you're linked to. So Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. The Page of Pentacles is also, once again, a messenger. So this could represent a talk that's coming your way, especially with all this movable energy. Pages are also in movement. So we will say there could be a talk of importance that we want to look at, and hopefully we'll get more detail of what it could be about. Now, when it comes to the challenge of this, page energy is new. It's fresh. Usually it's not fully developed. So keep that in mind. There might be something you're going through where, once again, it's not solid, it's not solidified, it's not set in stone. Okay, so it's changeable. That's the one thing I could say about page energy, and it could be influenced as well. So we'll definitely take a look at that, because that can be a weakness, something or someone that's easily influenced. Now, onto the back end, we have the Chariot. This energy is not so easily influenced, I'll say that. Now, this could represent a Cancer that you're connected to. Maybe you have some placements in Cancer yourself. And I always say this Chariot is the fastest card in the whole entire deck. Like the front end, it could represent travel, it could represent distance. So for a lot of you, there's a good energy around traveling and vacationing in this time. But when I see the Chariot, it's like I'm going this way or I'm going that way. It's either going to or from. There's no in between. There's no stop. There's no chill with the Chariot, because it's just very determined as well. So for a portion of you, maybe there's something you have your eyes set on where you're like, I'm determined to get this outcome. The Chariot is very good like that. Now, if we're talking about the challenge of this card, it could be very aggressive. Always remember that chariots, they are an instrument of war. When they were initially made, it was for people to battle with. So sometimes I think the Chariot, although fast and action oriented, it's very powerful, and it could also represent conflict. So that's just something to watch out for. So Leo, I want to dive deeper on all this action. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for my lovely Leos. Let's see what's happening, my gods. Talk to me. What is going on? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Six of Swords. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Leo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Six of Swords time. Why is it here? Quick, very, very quick. All right, so this could easily be somebody second guessing something. I would say with any decisions, choices, or things you do in this time, you should absolutely take your time, because this could represent somebody making a bit of a mistake. Now, I'm not saying like what you've recently done is worst case bad mistake. You shouldn't have done that. This could be someone that you're linked to as well, where it's like, all right, well, I should have thought before I did that one. So whenever I see that, I say that's a bit of a warning in this time, because there might be certain actions that you follow through on that you might regret it. Okay, so in this time, it's very important, especially with all this action on the top. And we have fire and air with this Eight of Wands in reverse. Like, it's like, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that so fast. So just be very cautious, very careful. If that's not the case, if everything's quiet and calm, this could be someone you're connected to where they might have felt like they acted before they thought, or they made a big mistake of some sort. Now, I will say this for another portion of you. This is another card of communication that we're picking up here. In reverse, there might be a person where it's like, oh, I don't really feel like talking to that person right now. Or there might be someone you're shutting out or having difficulty communicating with, okay? Doesn't mean you're never going to talk again, but this could be someone you're not speaking with at the moment. So we're going to keep moving. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. It is what it is. Pretty clear warning here that either someone feels like they made a mistake, or you should just be cautious in this time. Think before you act. And listen, I'm a fire sign myself. I know we're action-oriented people. We're results-driven type of individuals. But sometimes that could come back around and bite us, right? So let's keep moving over to that Page of Pentacles. Slow and steady is the name of the game here. So let's see why that page is in the mix. Either that or someone's wishing they thought first before doing something. So why is the page in the mix for the lovely Leos? Thank you. Okay. Ace of Cups in reverse underneath this Page of Pentacles. All right, yeah, there might be an individual where communicating with them right now might not be optimal. It might not be the best, because what I'm picking up here with the Ace of Cups in reverse under this page is just somebody like dumping a lot of like emotion, heavy emotion on somebody else. Now, for a portion of you, maybe that's something you need to do, right? Maybe there's someone you need to talk to. Maybe you need to vent something, especially if you're going through a difficult time. If you got a lot of pent up energy and things feel heavy, maybe that's something that would be good for you. But I can also see somebody coming to you and just like dumping a lot of stuff on you. So I am getting this like avoidant type of energy. So I will say this for some of you, if there's somebody that's like kind of keeping their distance and you're not really speaking much with them, they could be a very avoidant individual because they don't like speaking about emotion. It's a very peculiar type of way for this to show up, because like this one, yeah, I don't really want to talk right now. And this one, it's like, no, but we have to. So these are like two completely opposites. Now, I will say for some of you, yes, this can be an emotional talk of some kind. I could absolutely see that here in the mix, but it's about finding a balance, right? Like expressing yourself without overly expressing. I mean, take that for what it's worth. Now, the Ace of Cups, usually they represent offers, opportunities when they're in the upright. Someone's emotional state. They could also represent romance and love. And when it's in reverse, it could be someone that's not feeling too hot. They're not feeling too good. So yes, we have this emotional talk coming in where there's somebody that needs some venting. Now, if that's not you, if everything's fine with you, I will say this, Leo, you might find it a little much, if that makes sense. So like if you're cool, if everything's fine with you, and then there's someone comes in, like, yes, you're an empathetic person and you'll hear them out, but I don't know how much extra you can take. Let's just keep moving. I don't want to muddy up the waters, because now we're getting like hyper specific with some things. Remember, it's only in general. Let's see what that Chariot has to say, and we'll do a quick little recap. Okay. So it's interesting how this is all fitting together. So why is the Chariot here, please? For the lovely Leos. Thank you. Ace of Swords in the upright. Okay, there could be something here around mediation, or like somebody helping to keep a conversation calm as well. Listen, Leo, I'll say this. 4 of the 6 cards in my spread, and you know I only use a few cards for a reason. I like to try to hone in on the energy as much as possible. The Page, the Ace of Cups, the Eight of Wands, the Ace of Swords, they are all communication based. Now, I will say this. If you are having an issue and any of these things that we were just seeing were hitting for you, there's a strong energy of moving forward and fixing a problem. the communication is just off the charts when we get to the back end here in a positive way. Now, the Ace of Swords is a little different. I will say this, for a lot of you, it's good to approach things in a practical manner in this time, because remember, I was talking about all this heavy emotion in the middle. And in life, I feel like with all situations, all problems, you're meant to really work your way through it in a balanced fashion. If you're too emotional about things, you might do things you regret. If you're too logical about things, and I mean, that could be hurtful as well. And with the Ace of Swords, this could be that balance, that counterbalance to what I was picking up here in the middle. Okay. So this talk here on the back end, like, yeah, I do have the energy of somebody like possibly mediating. Like, it's a very bizarre type of energy I'm picking up, but it's also aggressive, straightforward, to the point, and honest. Okay. So for a lot of you with this Chariot, Ace of Swords, it's like, no, say what it is, speak the truth, don't hold back. Like, that's kind of the energy I'm picking up here on the back end. Just be straightforward, honest, don't hold back. And with whatever situations you're dealing with right now, you just might need a little more practicality, or more of the logical brain, because we have this little battle of the heart and the mind going on. So let's go through and do a quick recap here, Leo, because there's a lot happening, a lot of energy around communication, and different styles of it as well. But let's go through before the shadow. If you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we have the Six of Swords with the Eight of Wands in reverse. That was a clear-cut message. This is Spirit cautioning you to think before you act with whatever it is that you're dealing with in this time. Don't be too hasty to do something. Don't jump right into things super quick, because there is the vibe of someone feeling like they've made a mistake of some sort. So if you haven't, this is a little warning from Spirit in this time that the energy might be supportive for you to make a slip up. This could also be somebody else feeling like they messed something up as well. So don't just take it all on yourself. When we get to the center, we have the Page of Pentacles with the Ace of Cups in reverse. And I saw it here in the front. There's also like this little bit of an avoidance to talk. There could be a person that you deal with where emotional talks don't always go too well. Like, if it gets a little too heavy, that'll like fluster them and make them pull away. But when I saw the Ace of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups in reverse, it's somebody just venting, like dumping out a lot of emotion. So for some of you, that might be something you need to do, or someone's going to do that with you, and it might be a little too much for you to handle in the moment. Onto the back end, we have the Chariot with the Ace of Swords in the upright. Approaching things with an honest, logical, practical thought process is going to serve you in a lot of different ways. So whether you're dealing with relationship things, or interpersonal, or even if it's work related, studies, you name it, like, a practical approach, a structured approach is necessary, and just tackle something head on. That's another vibe I'm picking up here on the back end. So yeah, please take a screenshot of that, Leo. Let's see what's in the shadows for you. Let's get a good shuffle here and see what shadow card we could get for the lovely Leos. Lots of talking, lots of chatter, lots of chit chat. And yeah, I always like to pull one of these at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And if you've made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out. What do we have for my Leos? What? Thank you. Okay, High Priestess, very subtle type of energy, extremely emotional. She is the matron of psychics, intuitives, and tarot readers. For a lot of you, absolutely check in with your own subtle energies. And when I say that, I believe that all human beings, we all have the capability to be empathic, empathetic as well. And we can feel the energy of people we're connected to and the places we're around. So just know that your empathy could be heightened in this time. There could be certain things around you or in your area that could be influencing your energy in a big way. Another thing I will say about this High Priestess, she can be a little bit secretive, especially when she's here in the shadow. So for a lot of you, you might need some energetic protection in this time. Spiritual protection and ritual will serve you well. Okay, that's a big thing I'm picking up here with the High Priestess. But for a lot of you, whatever things you might be going through, trust your gut, trust your intuition, and that'll help steer you in a proper way. So we're just going to leave it at that, Leo. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the August subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. And for the July subscriber surprise, the winners will be announced after this week's Fire and Air readings. But for the August subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of the beautiful Gilded Tarot Royale, one of my favorite decks ever. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, if you could time travel, would you rather go into the past to meet your ancestors, or would you rather go into the future to meet your descendants? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.